Now at 6, we look at the proposal for recreational marijuana in Missouri. Plus, how McDonald County students are remembering and honoring a fallen hero. And how a southeast Kansas woman turned an old jail and fire building into a getaway.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
McDonald County High School held a ceremony dedicating a memorial highway in honor of a former student. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
The JROTC program of McDonald County High School dedicated Memorial Highway to honor a fallen hero, Christopher Lee Marion.
He was special. And now he's up there with the good Lord.
When Chris was deployed to Iraq in 2006, his military patrol vehicle hit a roadside bomb.
Too many of our boys and girls have made the same sacrifice. All of them need to be honored, all the way.
The Marion family has been waiting for 4 years to honor Chris with a memorial highway.
Yes, we knew the day was coming. I know the sickness that's going around hurt a lot, yes. And we're just waiting and glad that it happened.
Honoring a former student who gave his life to serve his country inspires younger cadets to follow in his footsteps.
I would tell Chris that we all miss him and that, we really honor and respect everything that he's done for us.
This ceremony reminded students that Chris was just like them.
When I think about it as a student that walked through our hallways, it sometimes brings a tear to my eye. I mean, somebody that could have been right next to you when you're in school.
Reporting in Anderson, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Christopher Lee Marion was a lifelong resident of Pineville, Missouri, and graduated from McDonald County High School in 2005. Authorities say they've identified and charged a suspect in the hit-and-run death of an Aurora, Missouri man. That incident happened in rural Berry County, Missouri in July. Authorities say 38-year-old Patrick Anderson was killed when a pickup truck failed to yield and struck his motorcycle. They say the driver of the truck fled the scene and was later picked up by an unknown driver. Authorities have now charged 19-year-old Derek Coburn in that case. He's charged with multiple crimes, including second-degree murder and leaving the scene of an accident. To see a full breakdown of how police captured Coburn and a full list of his charges, download the KOAM News Now app. One construction worker is dead. 2 others are injured following a bridge collapse northwest of Kearney, Missouri this afternoon. Authorities say workers were pouring concrete for the deck of the bridge when it fell. That bridge, which was replacing an older bridge, spanned Carroll Creek. Investigators have not given any further details about what caused that collapse. Let's check in with Doug for a first look at the weather.
Well, it turned out to be a great day for us today. Once again, chilly start, but plenty of sunshine all day long. Look at our temps right now. It's still fairly nice. Most of us 60 in Carthage, 63 at Grand Lake. Chanute is sitting at 64 degrees, and these temperatures will just slowly drop off as we go through the next few hours. But clear skies, we'll stick with the clear skies for the next several hours. You can see some showers increasing in Nebraska. This is the beginnings of our next storm system that will start to affect us as we go through the next few days. This evening and tonight's going to be fine. 59 at 7, 47 by midnight, by morning, 45 at 6 a.m., overnight low of about 44 degrees. So the clouds are really going to increase, but we are going to have to introduce rain chances for the weekend. We'll look at Halloween as well, all coming up here in just a bit.
All right, we'll see you then. Those for and against the legalization of recreational marijuana in Missouri are speaking out. Missouri voters will decide on November 8th whether to legalize cannabis. KOAM Sugun Bamadele reports on the arguments for and against Amendment 3.
If the constitutional amendment passes, it will remove the state's prohibition of selling, buying, manufacturing and delivering, possessing of marijuana for personal use for adults over the age of 21.
Driving under the influence would still remain prohibited. Public use would be prohibited and regulated by local governments. And then it would also expunge automatically previous marijuana offenses with the exceptions of anything involving violence, sales to minors, or also DUI.
Payne says it could help increase the economic development across the state.
Revenue generation for the state of Missouri. So after a couple years, 2-3 years, we think this market is going to be probably about $1 billion in new legally regulated revenues.
However, police officers do have a concern about the amendment and possibly wider use of cannabis.
Affects your ability to concentrate, it slows your reaction time, it distorts your judgment or your perception of things, and those are all concerning factors with regard to driving a motor vehicle.
Sergeant Delzell says personal responsibility will be key to keep users out of trouble with the law.
We want people to use good decision making and be responsible, know their limits, just like with alcohol. It's important that people know those limits and take action to be responsible. Having a designated driver, those things are extremely important.
Reporting in Joplin, Segun Mamdele, KOAM News.
You can find voting information and a breakdown of races in the upcoming midterm election on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Local bank today made a great big donation to the Jasper County Sheriff's Office. The Arvest Foundation donated $10,000 for new equipment, stuff like bulletproof vests, vest carriers, body camera mounts, and equipment for cybercrime fighting.
The mounts that these mount our uniforms on are kind of expensive in order for them to be like the best that they can be, so they don't get knocked off or fall off during the course of our duties. And so that's one of the areas that we're going to use to spend the money.
The Arvest Foundation says it seeks to provide funding that creates positive change for others. Coming up, how an old 4-state jail and fire building was turned into an Airbnb. Plus, we're going to check out some Halloween shopping trends. A Neodesha, Kansas resident has taken an old city fire and jail building and turned it into a stylish getaway. KOAM's Yana Hautala spoke to her and a few former workers.
You'd wake up in the wintertime and snow would be on you sleeping in the cots in bed because the door would blow open and snow would be on top of you in your blankets and stuff.
The Hook and Ladder Guest House in Neodesha brings back all kinds of memories to the firefighters that used to work and sleep there back in the day, especially for former Fire Chief Dwayne Bansett. Even after the building turned into an Airbnb, Bansett says it was hard not to think about work when he stepped back in the building.
Brought my pager in here with it turned on, hoping alarms would sound one last time as with a firefighter still in here, but didn't get lucky enough to have a call that night. So,
for owner Kim Petrulius, saving the history and educating the next generation is important. She says the retired fire chief was helpful in getting lots of photos, some dating back to 1906.
We owned it about 15 minutes before people started, just not as an Airbnb, but would show up and they'd tell us stories of when they worked here. And it's like, we have to do something with this building instead of just storage.
Petrulis used to visit the building herself. She knows how important this piece of history is for many locals.
If you are 45 years or older, you remember this building. So it's a lot of, and there's still a lot of people who have family who were associated with the building.
In the same building, but on the other side of this wall, was the old city jail. The firemen worked together with police to keep an eye on the inmates. Sometimes that duty led to even more work.
We looked out the door and there was water running down the driveway about 6-8 inches deep, and we couldn't figure out what it was. He had got mad and destroyed the plumbing in the back of the building.
Think of it as a living museum because of what Kim's done with it. I wanted to run the wrecking ball through it when we were done with it because I hated it so bad, but she has fixed it up so nice.
And turned it into just that, a living museum, a place for youth to learn something new and adults to take a look back.
Again, that was Yana Hautala reporting of the two sides, the jail and the firehouse. The fire department side is a slightly larger space with more room for a family. Petrulis is currently expanding the firehouse Airbnb with an extra bedroom to give larger families more space. Buying Halloween costumes can be kind of frightening at times. Jake's Fireworks in Pittsburgh is operating a seasonal store specifically for Halloween. According to Retail Dive, nearly 7 in 10 consumers plan to celebrate Halloween this year. The National Federation predicts that consumers will spend $10.6 billion on Halloween this year. That's up from $10.1 billion last year. Pet costumes are expected to hit a record high in sales, hitting $710 million. Thrifting costumes or borrowing them could save you money this year.
I try to use stuff that I already have or thrift things because that's just, environmentally friendly, and I try to stay as environmentally friendly as I can. And so just kind of using what I have around me or borrowing from friends even.
Jake's Fireworks is just one of a lot of local stores selling Halloween items. Of course, this one is located at 3002 North Broadway Street in Pittsburgh. A little bit later, we're going to hear from Missouri Southern head coach Atiba Bradley on their upcoming matchup against Missouri Western.
Plus, it looks like we have a lot of clouds increasing in the next few days. Also some rain chances. We'll look at that coming up. Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice day for us today. Plenty of sunshine across the region, dry after a couple days of rain on Monday and Tuesday. But at least now we're getting a chance to dry out, but we could use a little bit more rain, obviously, as we are still in a severe drought. Nice shot, Lander Chevrolet Cadillac of Joplin. This is our tower cam southeast side of the city. Clear skies, the roads are dry, temperatures pretty good. Most of us sitting mid to upper 50s to near 60, lower 60s. Once you get into our western counties, of course, our evening daylight hours continue to shrink up on us. We hit daylight saving time ending here in a week and a half. Outside 64, northerly winds at about 5, humidities at 33%. Through the overnight hours, 59 shortly, 47 by midnight, 45 by 6. Overnight low of 44 for us tonight. We do have pretty much clear skies, but we are going to start to get some clouds increasing late tonight. Here's the beginnings of our next storm system. You can see rain up through parts of Nebraska. This is all going to stay north of us, but it's all connected into this wave, which is right across parts of Idaho. And this is actually going to track across the southern plains deep into the south as we head into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's far enough south. It doesn't give us a lot of rain. But as it kicks out eastern parts of Missouri, it gets close enough that it gives us better chances for rain as we head into the second half of the weekend. All right, starting off your Thursday, 45 near 60 by noon, 64 by 5. High temp, 65. Very similar to what we saw today, except we're going to have more clouds. So let's step through time. Here's 1 a.m. Clouds start to increase. By morning, partly to mostly cloudy skies. These are going to be thin clouds, so you'll see the sunshine through it. As we go through the morning hours, southeasterly winds near 60 degrees. By the time we get into the afternoon, most of you mid-60s. 62 in Stockton, 66 in Veneta, 62 in Chanute. Look at some showers. So this is tomorrow night into Friday morning, the beginnings of that next wave. Very hit and miss, more concentrated down through central Oklahoma. But we are going to have a chance to get a few random showers in here tomorrow night. Then I think Friday, it stays mainly to our south. So most of us will be dry, low to mid 60s once again. But look at the rain inching farther north as we get into Saturday. So our chances for rain will start to increase Saturday with a few hit and miss showers, mainly our southern counties. Maybe a little better shot as we head into Sunday. But again, these are going to be very light. This system is going to be gone by the time Halloween rolls around. So let's look at Monday evening. We're going to have partly cloudy skies. Look at the temps. Upper 50s to mid 50s for trick-or-treating. Not too bad. 65 tomorrow, 63 on Friday. Near 60 over the weekend with those hit and miss light showers. 65 on Halloween. Back near 70 on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week.
And the weather for Halloween in particular looking pretty nice.
Yeah, not too bad.
Thanks, Doug. Still ahead, the Frontenac High School softball team receives their state championship rings this afternoon, and Player of the Year honors for a pair of local high school football standouts. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
There are just 3 weeks remaining in the MIAA football regular season. The Missouri Southern Lions are on the road this weekend in Week 9, facing the Missouri Western Griffins. The Lions, 4-4 through the first 8 weeks. This weekend, they face a Western team that so far is #1 in the MIAA in red zone defense. So it's important for Southern to take advantage of every opportunity to put points on the board.
Ultimately, I think the thing that'll help us is the run game and getting those safeties to draw down so that we can take some shots with some of our bigger targets. And so, yeah, they're a good defense, but there's a bunch of good defenses in this league, and we've had success. Our red zone numbers are higher than they've ever been in a really long time, and so the challenge will be getting into the red zone more so than the red zone.
They kind of put us in space on the back end. They like to play a lot of man-to-man. They got a good front seven. So we'll see how that goes. I think our front seven could definitely take care of that. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. They're a good team. I feel like we're a good team too.
Well, the Big 8 has released its All-Conference Football Awards for this fall. Seneca head coach Cody Hilburn has been named the Big 8 West Coach of the Year after leading the Indians to an 8-1 record in the Big 8 West League title. And Nevada running back Avius Stedman is the league's Offensive Player of the Year. He's been a monster all season for the Tigers. He rushed for 871 yards and 12 touchdowns in the regular season. Stedman also added 261 yards and 3 more touchdowns receiving. He helped Nevada go 7-2 heading into the playoffs. On the other side of the ball, Lamar's Austin Wilkerson is the Big 8 West Defensive Player of the Year. Wilkerson racked up 73 total tackles in 9 games. That includes 8 tackles for loss. He also had 4 pass breakups and a forced fumble. Lamar was 8-1 in the regular season. They earned a first-round bye in the Class II District 5 playoffs. Well, it's not softball season, but today, still a big day for the Frontenac softball team. The Raiders received their 3A state championship rings this afternoon. Frontenac had a ring celebration today in front of the whole school district. Players and coaches got their state championship rings, and they unveiled their championship banner in the gym. Back in May, the Raiders beat Prairie View 7-1 in the state title game to claim their 3rd state championship since 2016.
We've all been waiting, for this day for them to be recognized. And, the spring sports, they end at a weird time. You're either out of school, school's winding up, and you come back and you just get into the grind of summer. And so I just appreciate the district giving us the opportunity to celebrate these kids because, it's an awesome accomplishment that they'll live with forever and they'll never forget it. We enjoyed today, and then once we got over and released the banner, I said, we better be back here next year doing the same thing. So, the expectation's there. We have the quality of kids to do it again if we want to. We just have to have the right mentality, the right preparation, and take care of business when we have the opportunity.
That's it for sports. We're back after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Scott Hatfield served in the U.S. Navy from 1986 to 1990. His hometown, Noel, Missouri. And we're proud to salute Petty Officer 2nd Class Scott Hatfield, a 4-state hero. If you're ever on the go, you want to still be able to watch our newscast live, just download the KOAM Plus app. It's absolutely free. You'll find it in the App Store of your choice. Search for KOAM Plus. Here's a look what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. We're going to hear more from local shoppers about their plans for Halloween. Plus, how the Biden administration is aiming to curb some of the fees Americans are facing during this high inflation time, and how a claw-like device will be used to clear junk out of space around Earth. You shouldn't litter in space. Those stories, a lot more. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Weather looking pretty nice, Doug.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Lower 40s for us tonight. Tomorrow, great. 65. We are going to have a lot of mid and upper level clouds. 63 on Friday. Some rain chances sneak in over the weekend, but overall, pretty good forecast.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.